World of Matchups is back in the house. It is April, which is NFL Draft Month. Dexter Reed, Las Vegas, Nevada. On the other side of the glass, Spencer the Wiz, bringing you our top 10 draft prospects for the National Football League NFL 2026 draft. Spencer, good morning. How are you today, sir?
It's good. The draft is it's my favorite time of the year, honestly. I love scouting for the draft. I love making super hot takes. It's just fun. It's like a real test of your knowledge. I'm the worst, like literally the worst scout for basketball. I have some like historically bad takes, but I've actually feel like I have a pretty decent track record when it comes to the NFL draft as of recent. So I keep it all logged because I take some pride in it.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun being able to gather information, use the combine, all the roto world, tidbits that are coming out here, coming out there. This person said this agent said that, and being able to put together your top 32, which we will do in full draft day Thursday. So look out for that. That is our live show that we do every year. You guys will have special guests. It's just a lot of fun. Three
It's our
hours of
big
non
yeah, it's our big show.
It's our big show of the year. 3 hours of nonstop football. But to precede that, today we will do our top 10. I have my top 10 that I sent Spencer a couple weeks ago. Spencer has his top 10, and we're going to let it rip. Spencer, let's hear what you got.
Yeah, per usual, you're gonna think I'm absolutely nuts. Every year, I think you must think I'm more and more insane, but
I do, but it's okay.
sometimes it pans out for me. Trust. It's kind of interesting. I think there's a lot of this is a wide receiver heavy draft. I don't know if any of them will be mega superstars, other than maybe one, which we'll talk about. This is going to be my highest. This is going to be one of my hotter takes. I feel having KC Concepcion as my number 10 spot. I think he's going to really sneak below people's radars. I think he's going to be taken in the late first round. I don't think he's going to go crazy far. It's not going to be, like a Puka Nakua situation necessarily. But when it comes to KC, I think there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to want him. The Texas A&M wide receiver, Chris Routes, clean running. He can catch outside of his frame. These are all things that you love to see from wide receiver. Did have a drop problem a little bit, so that is always going to worry you. That's really the only thing holding him back from, I think, being like the number 2 wide receiving prospect in this draft for me. But you can set up plays for him. He has great downfield speed. I guess the stats say he struggled against the zone. I think all of that is garbage in the NFL personally, because I think the NFL is scheme based. If you're a talented wide receiver with good route running and a good frame, I think everything kind of falls into place. It's a different game than college football. And for me, he's one of my favorite players in this draft. I think he can end up being the best wide receiver that you see, other than maybe Carnell Tate, which we'll talk about later. I think he's going to be extremely productive in the NFL, and I think everyone's going to remember his name in a few years. And a lot of these guys who are going to go up ahead of him, I think they're going to regret not taking KFC when it's time.
I like Concepcion. I don't think he's a top 10 prospect. His combine didn't wow me at all. His athleticism is okay. 5'11", 191. Plays for A&M. So you're getting decent, competition week in and week out. Fluid. The drops concern me, man. I mean, it's not like Jamar Chase where like he's dropping balls and then he just flourishes into the best wide receiver in the NFL. I think it's a legit concern. I think the thing with Concepcion that worries me is his landing spot. Let's say he goes to a team that's a run-heavy team. Then what? A team that's run-heavy that needs a wide receiver, and they bring this guy in, and they're not scheming him properly. He could languish on a bad team and not really produce the way he did in college. What's his NFL comp to you? Who's KC Concepcion's comp? You know what I mean? Like, is there one? I was thinking about that because I like KC Concepcion, but where's he gonna go, man? With the first wide receiver off the board is gonna be Tate, and the second wide receiver off the board remains to be seen because there's guys just don't need wide receivers for the top 10, top 15, maybe even top 17. So where does he go? Does he go to Tampa? He's going to go Kansas City. I can't see Kansas City taking Concepcion. Kansas City's got more holes than my underwear. They need to rebuild that defense. Where's he go? You see what I mean? And so while the talent is there, I'm a little concerned about the athleticism. However, landing spot worries me, and for me, I can't put him in my top 12. There's a ton to me of other draft prospects, especially on the defensive side of the ball, that are just better than him. He's definitely talented. And we talked a little bit about your Luther Burden take that you made last year. And, Luther Burden was a top 10 pick for you last year. And I didn't see it. At the end of this year, he really started to come alive. And I think it might pan out here now that DJ Moore is gone. I could see Casey Concepcion really turning into something of value, but I think it's going to take 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I always like to. I like my 10th spot. I always like to throw in is like, hey man, in 3 years I'll look really good for.
It's a dart throw,
saying,
yeah.
Let's go to the next pick for me. It's Omar Cooper Jr. I went pretty wide receiver heavy at the end. I think a lot of these guys are kind of grouped together, but I'm a big fan of this guy. Very productive wide receiver. Like, obviously, I've seen a lot of Indiana tape just because I know Fernando Mendoza is going to the Raiders, and so I've watched this team probably more than I have other ones. He's got a pro-ready frame. He can play inside and outside. He's a yak specialist. He's really good in the red zone. I mean, when you just say those things alone, to me, that's got to put you in the top 10 personally. Those are traits that you just value. Not saying he's going to be a superstar. When I think of first-round picks, I don't always think superstar. Like, if I was a GM, I'd think, wow, this guy's going to be in my team, and he's going to be productive for many years. And I feel like if you pick a guy like that, you can never go wrong, ever. I think that's what the Eagles do so well. Although, obviously, they have found some stars. He's not super physical. He's not a sideline guy. He's just someone who's just going to get you yards when you need it the most. And I feel like that's a trait that not a lot of wide receivers come into for the first round. Like, you're always looking for the mega superstar, the Justin Jeffersons, but we underrate the guys who are all the in-between stuff, and I think that's where he specializes the most, especially for such a productive player to be so good in the red zone. That, I feel like, is where most of his value is going to come in. Like, this guy's going to have a lot of touchdowns. He's going to get a lot of first downs, and when it comes to moving the chains, this is the kind of guy you'd want on your team. I don't know if a wide receiver 1 is ever going to be in the mix for him, but for me, that doesn't matter when it comes to top 10 prospects. I think this guy's going to be a very productive NFL wide receiver.
Again, I don't disagree, okay, at all. And I like Coop more than I like KC. So we're definitely there. I mean, the Indiana storybook fairy tale season that these players had is enough to catapult them higher than they probably should go, okay? He's got 4.42 blazing speed. The guy caught a bazillion touchdowns from Fernando Mendoza. He's got decent separation. But again, landing spot. It's everything. Where does Omar Cooper Jr. go? I mean, Kansas City's not taking him at 9. I mean, there's just no way. I mean, if Kansas City takes a wide receiver, it's going to be Tate, and I think Tate potentially could be gone. I think Cooper Jr. has the potential to be the second wideout off the board, but where does he go? Does he go to KC at 29? You know what I mean? Does he go to Tampa? Mike Evans is gone. You got to understand, he's a wide receiver 2 or 3 at best in the NFL. So landing spot matters. And he's not the biggest dude in the world, man. You know what I mean? 50-50 balls might not come. He might not come down with those. And he might get bullied at the line of scrimmage. I like him because the guy is just a touchdown machine. But touchdown machines in college don't always equate to touchdown machines in the NFL, man. It's the different skill set. Guys are just faster, stronger. Guys are going to be looking to body you. His frame's a little thin. His athleticism score and his production score are good. I mean, he's ranked 3rd in the combine, so you like all that. But his overall grade doesn't wow me, man. It's not like he's 6'4", he's 6 foot. It's not like he's 210, he's 199. So that little bit of more measurables to me, that stuff matters, man. And again, I mean, you have my list and we'll read it at the end. I could think of 13 more guys I would take before I would take Omar Cooper Jr. The way the draft is set up with the teams that are there. See, when I make my draft list, Spencer, you guys, I make mine based on who is picking where. Raiders 1, Jets 2. You know what I mean? Titans 4. Like, so I'm picking like who are going to be those top 10 draft prospects that go there. And to me, combine, athleticism, skill, who they play against, NFL comparables. I just don't see Omar Cooper Jr. being top 12, maybe top 12 to 15. I like him though. I like him a lot too. Guys, be careful here. Indiana had such an amazing season that everyone is just going to expect it to translate into NFL play. I'm not so sure it will, man. I'm not so sure it will. And yes, they did play good, quality teams. They played the Oregon Ducks. You know what I mean? They played the Miami. They played the Hurricanes. They played good teams. But the difference between college and NFL is humongous. And I'll never back off that. Somebody saying the best college team could beat the worst NFL team knows absolutely nothing about football. That should never be spoken from the lips of anyone. So I like him. I just don't love him, and I definitely don't like him as a top 10 prospect.
No, that's what I like doing about this show in particular with you, because we think about it differently. We don't come in with the same thought process. So I like the clash of ideas when we do this. It's always fun.
It's good. It's challenging because we have it on tape, and later, like Luther Burton's a perfect example. I mean, I picked Luther Burton up in fantasy last year in the semis, and he by himself won me that week. So I was like, okay, I see kind of what Spencer was talking about. Still not a top 10 prospect, but dude's a baller. And now with DJ Moore gone, you're going to see Luther Burton go to the moon. You're going to definitely see it. So I hear what you're saying. I just don't think right now. Give it 2 years, man, and talk to me about Omar Cooper Jr. And
yeah,
again,
I guess that's how I think about these lists, though. I think about these guys in terms of their careers, like who I project to be like when it's all said and done. And that's obviously very far, but I'm talking about in like 3 years, who will be the top 10 guys from this draft? That's kind of how I think about it when I make this list. And so I think Omar Cooper is going to be super good in the NFL. If
Omar Cooper Jr. goes to the Jets, are you going to feel that way?
Well, he's not going to go that high, though.
You know what I mean?
I think all those things matter. Like, wherever he goes, like, he's going to be on a team that I think can use him really well. So,
maybe.
I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Just depends on, and that matters. You know what I mean? And that
absolutely,
matters. Yeah. I mean, if Omar Cooper Jr. ends up on the Arizona Cardinals, I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr.
I actually think that could be a decent place for him.
Marvin Harrison Jr. Hot take before we continue, guys. Marvin Harrison Jr. will be traded draft day. He will be traded draft day. You heard it here first. Hot take from the Black Italian. Continue.
All right, let's go to. I think this is the first one I think you're gonna be a little offended by because I have him so low compared to everyone else, and obviously where he's gonna be. There's actually going to be a couple of takes where you're going to start getting mad at me, but I at number 8, I have Ruben Bain. So I have him way farther down.
Guys, I have to go. I have to end the show, guys. I have to leave. Show's over. Show is over.
You're going to be pretty mad, actually, once you get later on because there's going to see some stuff. But super explosive, has a bag of moves, which you really like. And I'm not saying he's bad. He's very strong. But I'm going to say the thing that everyone's going to say, especially on draft day.
His arms are too short. He's got T-Rex arms.
Not only does he have small, short arms, he's only 6'3".
He's 6'3". What do you want him to be? He's a D-end. You want a 6'7" D-end coming at you, bro? Answer this question. How many productive D-ends in the league are over 6'5"?
I'm not saying over 6'5", but all I'm saying, he's not massive human, he's not long like Max Crosby or some of these other guys.
I don't need Ruben Bain to bat down balls. I need Ruben Bain to pull the quarterback off the field. That's why I'm drafting Ruben Bain. I hear what you're saying, and I was waiting for this, guys. I knew he was going to do this. My counter argument to the T-Rex arms is, okay, look at an offensive tackle like Joe Thomas. He had tiny arms. That guy's a Hall of Fame player. What in the repertoire of what Ruben Bain is going to be asked to do at Kansas City is it going to matter that his arms are short?
I will say the other thing that I really like about him is that he's very effective in the run game. So for that, I appreciate heavily because I actually have guys that are going to go in the top 10 that are not in my top 10 list. That's a preview for your offense that's coming in hot here in a second. If I'm taking a defensive end and he can't play against the run effectively, I'm sorry, you're not in my top 10 prospects automatically. And so that's what I really like about him. Good hustle, but he, like, when you look at the tape, he got manhandled sometimes because he just doesn't have that massive frame that you kind of like to see at a defensive ends, and that's why he kind of slipped for me. And he also has bad gap discipline. Now you can learn that kind of stuff, but I like it when guys have that natural IQ. I don't know. I don't know if I see that super high IQ stuff from him. He's the only, I'm going to say this right now, he's the only edge I feel comfortable taking in the top 10 if I was an NFL GM. The other guys, I would not risk my job for the other ones. This is the only one where I'd be like, okay, I'm comfortable taking him in the top 10 because of the pure talent alone. But yeah, like I said, I do feel like when he plays against some of these power tackles, that he might just disappear from games. And so I think that's something that's worth at least noting when it comes to Ruben Bain.
Well, technique can be taught. Everybody is, picking Ruben Bain to go to Kansas City. Okay, and I think that's a great spot. If Ruben Bain went to Kansas City, I'd be perfectly happy with that.
Yeah, but he's not making out of the top 10, not even close.
He's
not going outside of the top 4.
I don't know. I don't know. People are very high on Bailey. People are very high on Reese, Jermiyah Love, Carnell Tate, Sonny Styles. I mean, Caleb Downs. I mean, he could fall to Kansas City. It's very, very possible. Okay, and now you're pairing him with probably the greatest DC of all time. I mean, Steve Spagnuolo is going to make the Hall of Fame as a defensive coordinator. And so a lot of the things that you're questioning can be taught. I mean, he is 263 pounds, man. By the time he's playing day one, he's lining up on the other side of Karlaftis, he'll be 265. Now, he is just a disruptor, which is what the Chiefs need. You need somebody that's just going to wreak havoc in the backfield, and that's exactly what he does. I think it's a great pick. I would not be upset about this at all. Those short arms, that don't bother me at all, man. Guys are looking to nitpick and find excuses why someone is not good enough. I hear this all the time in the NFL. When do short arms matter in what he is being asked to do? No one has been able to answer this question for me yet. Not one person. And so I like Bain. I like his production score. I like his athleticism. I like that he played for the Hurricanes, so the competition he played against is decent. Even in a loss, he had a decent championship game. His total package, man. You need to get to the other team's quarterback in the NFL if you plan on winning a championship. And right now, the Chiefs don't have that. There's a couple teams that do not have that. The Jets don't have that. The Titans don't have that. I don't see Bain going that far up, and I don't see anyone trading up for him because, quite frankly, the whole T-Rex arms things, it works to the strength of other teams at pick 10, pick 9, pick 8. Guys are going to pass on him just because, oh my God, his arms are so short, and he's going to fall into the lap of a team that needs him, and he is going to thrive. I can already hear it. Hurricane Bain. I love it. And I would take him at 9. I wouldn't think twice. You guys are out of your mind if you think this guy's not going to be a top-flight NFL defensive end and pass rusher. I know his arms are short. Who cares? My wife is 5'4". It ain't stopped me from marrying her. You know what I mean? If anything, I can reach stuff off the shelf and feel like a hero.
All right. Let's go to number 7 here for me. This is Carnell Tate. It's the last wide receiver. He to me is definitely the definitive number 1 wide receiver in this year's draft. Personally, he's 6'3", which you gotta love. That's just like it's just perfect for a wide receiver. He's a downfield threat. Good tracking and body control. He's got sure hands. He's very athletic. He's got great tempo and route running. He's just slow. Okay. I mean, comparatively speaking, obviously, I'm just saying he's not going to be a burner in the NFL. I think that's all you need to know. But to me, and this is going to sound like I'm downplaying him pretty badly, I think he's Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman had multiple 1,000-yard seasons. He's got sure hands. Now, he's kind of turned into a short yard specialist. He wasn't like that in his first year in the NFL. When he played for the Colts in his first 1,000-yard season,
he was going deep.
Yeah, he wasn't like a sideline painter like he's become. And we'll see what I don't like his. He went to the Steelers. To me, is just such a bummer. I think he deserves a lot. I think he's actually better than he's ever been given credit for. I just don't think he fit the scheme for the Colts, and he kind of fell away. But he had a nice like redemption season last year. I just still think he's not being used. To me, they're so similar, but I think Carnell Tate could even be better. To me, that's just who I remind of, like a guy who's not super fast, but he's big, he's got a big frame, he's super productive, and so to me, it's kind of straightforward. Like I said, I don't think Carnell Tate's ever going to be in the top 5 or 10 discussion or something like that in the NFL. But I think he's going to have a long career. I think he's going to have multiple 1,000-yard seasons, and he's an Ohio State wide receiver. I mean, what else do you need to know? This is the factor where these guys come from. And I think he's just, regardless where he's going to go, he's going to be good. He's just something that teams are going to dream about. And I think he's going to go in the top 10 just because, like, if I'm a GM, dude, and my job depends on drafting guys, I'm picking them and I'm going to be happy. Is it technically a reach to take Carnell Tate in the top 10? I'm so sick of I just think it's the most overrated thing ever in the draft. Like, you have a first round pick and you just got to think about it like that. Like, I want a starter in the first round. Always. That's my number one goal. And you're getting a starter with Carnell Tate and you're getting 1,000-yard wide receiver. So just take him and be happy when you have him, even if he's technically, like, when you compare him to last year, wide receivers, he's not top 10 compared to that. I think that stuff is stupid to me. I really like Carnell Tate. I think he's about as solid as a prospect as you could ever get and to feel sure about.
I like Tate too. I like Tate because of his height. 4.5 doesn't really do it for me.
Yeah.
A lot of guys run 4.5s. There are linebackers running 4.5s.
Yeah.
So I'm a little concerned about that. I will tell you this, that if he was 5'11", 6 foot, I don't think he's a top 10 wide receiver. You know what I mean? Cooper Jr., Concepcion, he would fall into that class of wideout for me. I know he balled out on Ohio State. Everyone balls out at Ohio State. That's just what they do. His NFL comp to me is Chris Olave, which Chris Olave to me does not get the flowers he deserves. Chris Olave is a baller. Chris Olave has excelled in the National Football League with absolute bums at quarterback. Go right now, you guys, and look at Chris Olave's numbers from last year. You'll be shocked. Chris Olave's a baller. The one thing that bothers me about Tate is that he's going to go higher than he should.
Yeah.
Because he's not Randy Moss. You know what I mean? He's just the best of what is there. Guys, Spencer seems to disagree. I don't think that this is a strong wide receiver class. It's good. It's not great.
I guess it's strong in the fact that you're going to find, like, productive players. They're not superstars, but to me, I think that's worth something.
You take away his height and his contested catch radius, and I think he is an average wide receiver in the National Football League. Now, that remains to be seen, okay? But Kansas City at 9, we need all kinds of help. I mean, I wouldn't touch Tate. There's a lot of people like, get Carnell Tate. I would not touch Tate. Not at pick 9. At that point, I'm trading back. I just don't see him as being the Jermiyah Love of wide receivers. I just don't see it. Is he good? He is very good. But I think the intangibles of height and that 50-50 ball skill set, that T. Higgins skill set, is very hard to find on wide receivers. Push him up the draft boards a lot higher than he should be. I mean, he's slippery. He's got plus agility. He's got speed, and he's got body control, man. Those are things that you can't teach. And so he'll be a top 10 pick. Would I take him in the top 10? No. Is he a top 10 draft prospect for me? He is. Because there's no denying what he had done in college, what he has done his entire career. And the guy is always healthy. He's never hurt. That's big. You know what I mean? Some dudes are just brittle, man. You look at them wrong and they get hurt. Carnell Tate's going to be on the field. So it's kind of tricky where he falls for me because there's no denying he's a top 10 prospect. But would I take him? I mean, if I'm the Washington Commanders, you know what I mean? And Downs is there, and Tate is there, and Love is there. Like, would I take Tate over that? And they need a wide receiver. Debo's gone. You know what I mean? Scary Terry's long in the tooth. You see what I mean? Like, he doesn't blow me away like he blows a lot of other people away. I'm not pooping on him. I'm just not super excited about what he's doing. He's a good player, and I think he'll be drafted probably higher than he needs to be.
Oh, definitely. I think we're pretty on consensus on that him, which is kind of surprising. I feel like we never agreed on this draft stuff. Like we were pretty aligned on that one. Let's go to number 6 for me. It's Jermiyah Love. I'm a big fan. I think the top
Big fan.
I think the top 6 is quite talented. So I like him. I think he's going to be really good. I think he's going to go like really early. In fact, me and my dad are going to put a bet that the Titans are going to take him.
You should
I like
go to
this
the
so much.
Titans. I've been saying this forever. Titans at 4 is the pick. Absolutely. There's
Yeah.
no question. If he doesn't go to the Titans, what are the Titans doing, bro?
Yeah. No, I agree. He's a home run threat. He's got great takeoff speed. He's got great vision too, like what you love to see. Vision is not always something that these running backs come out of college with. He's
No,
6 feet tall too.
Look at CEH. Everyone was telling me that guy was going to be the second coming of Barry Sanders. A guy couldn't see through a paper bag. You got to be able to see the play before the play happens, and Jermiyah Love can do that. He's patient too, and guys, he's big as hell. Jermiyah Love's 6 foot 212. He's big.
Yeah, he's you know what my favorite part about his game is that he's sneaky for extra yards. He's like a little snake in the best way possible for a running back. He's got soft hands too in the receiving game. To me though, he does have good takeoff speed, but I wouldn't call him explosive. And so that's why I don't have him necessarily in my top 3.
He runs a 4.3.
He does have a upright running style too, which is not my favorite either. I'm nitpicking a little bit, obviously. I really like Jermiyah Love. I'm just trying to give a proper scouting report. And I actually saw someone say this, and I love it. It reminds me of Matt Forte. Dude, if I can have Matt Forte, I'm taking him every year. That guy was so awesome.
Matt Forte was
this
great.
reminds me of, like, he's not like a receiving specialist kind of guy necessarily, but he's going to be productive in the receiving game. And I think wherever Jermiyah Love's going to go, he's going to be very popular in fantasy. He's going to be like the guy that everyone's kind of excited about when it comes to, his productive. His PPR is going to be really good. He's going to be used a lot. And so, like I said, he's certainly one of my favorite players in the draft. And I think he's going to go very early, appropriately so. Dude, I think you're going to get even more hype around him on draft day. Like, you're going to be holding your breath. Like, I think if you're the Titans, you're even like holding your breath. Like, you just never know what these teams think. And the Giants, like, all these teams really need running backs. And
it's the Cardinals you just got to worry about.
Yeah, it's some teams might
Cardinals
really feel that way about him. Yeah, because they don't have a running back, and
Cardinals could take him.
But the Cardinals need something, man.
They need defense. They need defense.
They need everything,
so
though. I feel like they want to inject a little life into their team, and
that would be the way to do it.
Inject life.
That would be the way that you do it. You steal Jermiyah Love from the Titans, because I'm here to tell you, if the Titans don't take Jermiyah Love, the Giants are taking him.
That's what I think too.
Forget Cam Scatterbo, bro. The one thing I know about that pair of brothers in the NFL is they both love to run the football. They want to run the football, and they will not let Jermiyah Love fall. I'm sorry. The Giants are being rebuilt, and they're being rebuilt to be a power football team. And you add Jermiyah Love to Cam Scatterbo, and now you have yourself a real problem as a defensive coordinator figuring out who to stop. All right? Jermiyah Love's comparison is Jahmyr Gibbs. My goodness. Okay? And he can do it all. I mean, 35 touchdowns in 2 seasons, guys. Dude, seriously? Okay? If the Tennessee Titans let this guy go, I'm going to be upset. It makes too much sense. You have to help Cam Ward. Okay, now they've made a bunch of kind of moves. They're kind of ancillary pieces. The Wan'Dale Robinsons of the year. Yeah, they bring in a bunch of guys on defense. See, this is why I like the Tennessee Titans, because they're at least trying. They're showing that in good faith to the fans, we are trying. We got our franchise. We got our franchise quarterback. Okay, we gave you guys that. Now we're going to get our franchise running back. We got ourselves a new coach. It actually was better than anyone thought it was going to be. If you have to sprinkle in Tony Pollard or Tajay Spears on third down, or you just waive one of them or trade one of them, fine. You cannot let Jermiyah Love go past 4. I'm sorry. They will be sitting there in New York salivating if he is there at 5. Forget Cam Scatterbo. Cam Scatterbo is the Jeremy Shockey of running backs. He's going to be out of this league within 3 years. All the kid wants to do is get concussed. He probably has CTE now. I mean, it is what it is. He just doesn't know how to play any other way. So when you have a blue chip running back like this, sitting there. The guy's had 2,500 yards and 35 touchdowns in the last 2 seasons. This is a no-brainer. And I don't care. He can catch balls out of the backfield. It might not be his forte, but he absolutely can. And he is very decent at reaccelerating on the cut. He sees the play happen before the hole is there. He's the whole package. He's the total package, man. And if the Chiefs did not bring in KW3, I would have been banging the drum for Jermiyah Love in Kansas City. I'm telling you, if Jermiyah Love falls to Kansas City at 9, I would say take Jermiyah Love with KW3. You just can't let this weapon fall in the hands of the enemy. You figure everything. You figure everything else out later. Seriously, I mean, slight indecisiveness here or there. I'm not too worried about that. And his cuts and his transitions are choppy. But at this point, guys, we're just nitpicking, and the size is there.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the type of running back that in the fourth quarter, okay, after already rushing the ball 22, 23 times, the defense is just not going to want to tackle this guy anymore. He's just let him have 22 rushes for 100 yards and a tutty in the third quarter. That game's over, man. They're not going to want to tackle this guy anymore. And that's what you want. You want a bruiser. You want a bulldozer. You want a guy that's not scared of contact but can finesse it when he needs to. Jermiyah Love is all that and more. I would take him at 4. I might put a ticket in for him at 4. And if he might even go 3. Because like you said, the hype around Jermiyah Love draft day, I mean, he's the bride, not the bridesmaid. It could change Arizona's mind. Arizona has pick 3, yeah?
I believe so.
Yeah, it's because Mendoza's going 1. Jets don't need him because they're keeping Breece Hall. I mean, it makes perfect sense. 3 or 4. If he falls, I'll be shocked, Spencer. I'll be absolutely.
I would
shocked.
be too, honestly, because again, I'm not huge on the top 10 this year. Like, just I think guys are overinflated because it's a underskilled draft. Personally, that's just kind of how I feel. All right, let's go to my number 5. This is one of my personal favorites.
I love Sonny Styles.
It's Sonny Styles. He plays a dead position, and he's really good at it. How many inside linebackers are left in football? I mean, the position is being it's not even being phased out. It's just rare to have the traits that you need to be a middle linebacker. And to me, Sonny Styles is exactly that. I call him a
Ohio State. They just breed these guys. They create these guys.
He's a freak. When you look at him, he looks like a freak.
His combine was insane. The
length and the size. He looks like a monster out there, literally. He's a run stuffer. Doesn't have super mega power, which you kind of look surprised, but then you kind of see how lengthy he is, and it makes a little bit more sense. He's going to have to learn to play better on the outside zone run. So when it's between the gaps, that's where he specializes. When you start stretching the field a little bit is where he's going to need to grow. But again, these are college kids, so to expect a full, slate of skills would be insane. He can play zone coverage too.
He can drop into coverage.
How can you not like this? I haven't seen a prospect like this in years. I'll say
it's been a while.
Linebackers are edge rushers coming out of college now. This guy is a pure inside linebacker, which comes along with having no pass rushing skills. He's not going to pass rush though. If he does, the team is just stupid to me.
That's not what you're asking him to do. You're asking him to lead the charge and be the Mike Dot linebacker for a bad team because he's going to go high. You're asking him to drop in coverage. Guys, this is a poor man's Fred Warner in the making. Did you see guys, if you have a second, go just look at his combine. Look at Sonny Styles' combine. The guy was a freak of nature. No one was really talking about Styles until the combine, and the combine happened, and he just shot up everyone's draft boards. The guy is an absolute freak athlete. 6'5", 244. He's the number 1 linebacker in this draft, and he could easily go top 5. I like Sonny Styles going to the Giants. That's where I say. I mean, the Harbaughs, they like these hard-nosed guys. You know what I mean? They're going to rebuild that Giant defense, which wasn't that bad to begin with. The D-line is good. Now you're going to get Styles in there. I'm telling you, man, this is a very, very, very good pick. And this is what Ohio State does, man. They just churn these great players out, man. Second team All Big Ten. He played in 10 games as a reserve in 2022 when no one knew who he was, and out of nowhere he just blew up. Runs a 4.46. Athleticism score was number one at the combine for linebackers. Number one. That's all you need to know. And his production score was number one for 2026 linebackers. And he, the best thing about him is that he still can sack the quarterback. If you need him to, he can go get the quarterback. Guys, what else is there to say, man? I love Sonny Styles. I mean, we don't need linebackers in Kansas City, but if they took him, I would not be upset. I would not be upset. He's the type of guy, he's more of like a hybrid. He can play some safety. He can play some linebacker. He can play some edge. It's hard to find these 3, 4, 5 tool guys like that in college football who not only that, they play against great competition week in and week out, so you know that he's the real deal. And then the combine, which sometimes can lie to you. You know, combines to me is not always the greatest test of what a guy can do. We've seen it happen a million times. Look at guys like Dontari Poe. You know what I mean? They just flame out in the NFL, but they can bench press 600 pounds 50 times. Who cares? Can you play football? When I look at this tape, Sonny Styles can play football.
No, absolutely. I would take him over David Bailey. I'm sorry, I would, and I wouldn't regret it for a second. Which I know, again, this is the part where I preview that you're going to start getting offended at me. I'm ready to start. I'm ready to start offending you because I don't like the edge rushers that are scheduled to go.
You don't like Reese or Bailey, huh? Wow.
No,
that's wild.
I wouldn't bet my career on it if I was a GM. I'll tell you that right now, at the very least.
I don't think they're career betters. I think they're need fillers.
No, but you are betting your career by taking them second and whatever.
The Jets need D help more than they need a linebacker. It's a need. If they had both, then I could potentially see, okay, we'll take Styles. But they don't have both. They just got rid of Jermaine Johnson. Aaron Glenn's a defensive player. Spencer, you know this as well as anybody, and I hear what you're saying. And it's a legitimate argument, honestly. But if you cannot get the other team's quarterback off the field, you cannot win in the NFL. You have to get the guy on the ground. When Josh Allen is hot, Sonny Styles is not going to help you. Arvell Reese is going to help you.
I get what you're saying, but just because you're in desperate need of something doesn't mean you can force a player who I don't think is going to be able to do it just because people say he is.
I'm not a best player available guy.
I am. I'm a huge best player available guy.
Not always. I am sometimes, but not always. Yeah. Not always. Like, let's say, for instance, let's put this hypothetical out there, okay? We'll just come back to Kansas City because that's my team, because we all know you're taking Mendoza. So this, for all intents and purposes, is a great analogy. All the edge rushers are gone, even Bain, okay? Downs is gone. Tate is gone. I'm taking Sonny Styles at 9. We don't need Sonny Styles. We don't. But I would take Sonny Styles because he's the best player available. In that situation, yes. But if those other guys that are there, that are need guys, if Arvell Reese somehow fell or David Bailey somehow fell, I'm taking those guys over Sonny Styles 1,000 out of 1,000 times. Why? Because I could not sack the quarterback last year. And Sonny Styles might not even play if I draft him. Sonny Styles is not playing over Nick Bolton. Sonny Styles is not playing over Drew Tranquill. So why take him? You see what I mean?
Well, I get what you're saying from a drafting philosophy. I get what you're saying. Again, this comes down to our very different approaches to this, I guess. For the Chiefs specifically, yes. And then if one of these guys falls to them from the edge position, then you don't really have a choice.
You have to.
You
have to.
I'm talking from for me, at least the way that I see it, I'm thinking of some sort of a objective, I'm looking at these guys in a vacuum. I know that's not how the NFL exists, but I'm talking about when I think of a top 10 prospect list, I'm thinking about a vacuum to me. That's kind of how I approach it. But Yeah, I have Caleb Downs at number 4. I think you
Love
have him
this
pretty high
kid.
too, obviously.
Oh my God, I
I
love
know it's
Caleb
not a
Downs.
value position, which is the problem when it comes to the safety position, but some of the most elite processing I think I've ever seen out of a safety coming from a
I
draft.
want this guy on my team so bad.
Elite angle work. Like, these are things that you just like, huh? Like, this is a guy at a college can do that. What's wrong with this guy? He's not great man to man, but you're not going to ask him to be that.
Not why
But
he's
pretty
there.
rarely, because he's playing the safety position.
He could
Actually,
be as good as Eric Berry.
That's what I was. It's funny. I was just about to say that he
He
reminds me
could
of
be as
Eric
good.
Berry.
He is exactly. I'm telling you, he's not a need for Kansas City. But if Caleb Downs is there and Carnell Tate is there, I'm taking Caleb Downs. If Caleb Downs is there,
Easily.
dude. If Ruben Bain Jr. is gone, I'm taking Caleb Downs. I'm sorry. You have a guy now. I'm not saying he's going to be Ed Reed, but you got a guy that likes to roam, and you got a guy that likes to hit, and you got a guy that can cover a lot of field. When you have a guy like that that can do those 3 things in the NFL and is available to you, and you have lost your entire secondary, to me, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Brian Cook is gone. You know what I mean? A lot of Chiefs fans are like, I wouldn't touch Caleb Downs. We need other stuff. We need offensive linemen. Dude, you're out of your mind.
I don't like the offensive lineman.
You're out of your mind. You can find a big, white, hunking Nebraska-looking corn-fed dude in round 3. This guy is special. He is special. He likes to lay people out. He pass defends well. He's got decent speed. If you put him with the right DC, you can rush the passer with this guy. He's a ball hawk. He literally is Eric Berry. I look at his tape and I see Eric Berry, Tennessee written all over it. And here's the thing about Caleb Downs, too. I think there's other ways you can use him that they don't. Why not see what this guy can do with the ball in his hands? He is a true playmaker, man. I absolutely love the guy. And Alabama just breeds dudes like this, man. Jalen Petrie is my comp, but I see a lot of Eric Berry in him. High effort. Never gives up on... Dude, Caleb Downs never gives up on a play. Ever. It wouldn't shock me to see him go top 5. Someone was telling me this guy's going out at a top 10. You're out of your mind. You guys, you're out of your mind. Caleb Downs on the Giants would be lit. Giants have an opportunity here at 5 to really get a franchise-changing player. They could get Downs. They can get Styles. They could get Love. They're sitting pretty, man, and I don't think they need to trade up to do any of it. I definitely wouldn't trade back. They're going to get a type of player that's going to really change the trajectory of what they're trying to do. I'm telling you right now, guys, the New York Football Giants are back. Big Blue is back. They got the head coach. They got the quarterback as long as they don't get him killed. They got Scatterbo. Maybe you get Love. Maybe you get Downs. Maybe you get Styles. But this kid can flat out ball. My friend Tovar likes to say ballers ball. When I think about that, I think of Caleb Downs.
All right. Are you ready to be offended?
I've been offended. Your list killed me.
All right. This one might actually kill you. So like I've already previewed this. So I guess I'll blow down the doors right now. I'm going to tell you right now in my top 10 I don't have David Bailey and I don't have Arvell Reese either in my top 10. I like I said, I wouldn't bank my career on them by taking them in the top 10 because I don't have that confidence. This isn't in your top 10. This guy, I have him at number 3. You don't even have him in your top 10. It's Mansour Delane, cornerback out of LSU.
He would be.
I think this guy is a super mega star in the waiting.
I'll take him on Kansas City too.
I'll tell you that he isn't great at tackling. That's like one of his big things. You can teach a corner to tackle, and I'm not drafting a cornerback to tackle in the open field. Obviously, you need him to. But when it comes to like from a pure talent, now he doesn't have a ton of speed either, so I will say that too. But those are the only things I don't like about him. This guy has a career full of fumbles, interceptions, pass breakups, like extreme production. You can play him in man. You can play him in zone. He's got great footwork. He's got good play strength. He's got great size. I like his weight. Dude, it's just a never-ending flood of just things that you're like, wow, this guy checked. This is the things that you're checking off the list. dude, I would take him in like number 3, and I wouldn't blink. Now, not always, like in any draft, like in any sort of like talented draft. No, I wouldn't risk everything for him, obviously. But when you're getting him, and I think cornerbacks get so underrated in drafts every year, and then every year when a guy like Christian Gonzalez falls to the Patriots, and he's like one of the best corners in the league, everyone's gonna wonder how they fell there, and it's because Quinyon Mitchell's another one where it's like these guys are awesome, and we just ignore them because edge rushers are so valued, we're going to overdraft guys who end up not being super productive in the NFL.
And
because
that's how the Eagles end up with all these players. You're right about that. I can't lie. You're right about that. I like Delane a lot. Little handsy, you know what I mean? Not as fast as I would like him to be, but at 9, there's a good chance that Kansas City brings him in to replace Trent McDuffie, and I wouldn't be mad at that at all. Because he's just a disruptor, man. 6 foot, 187, 190 by game day. I'm fine with it. Picks, pass defenses, breakups. Just played against solid competition because LSU is always playing the best of the best. I can't argue this. You know what I mean? I don't have him in my top 10, but I don't have him far out. I think I have him at 12. And the fact that there's a good chance that he'll be on my team week 1. I've watched what he has been able to do. He's the number 1 cornerback in this draft class, so hard to argue with that. Do you pass on him and take Ruben Bain and then maybe try to come back at 29 with like a guy like Avion Terrell? Fine, you could do that. But, he is this draft class's Quinyon Mitchell for all intents and purposes. And what can he not do? Again, I need you to be able to stop a guy if it's you and him in the open field, and I'm not so sure he can do that, but he gives you everything else. He's a day 1 starter, which right now the Chiefs starting quarterback room is you and me. So I'm not as offended as you would think. I like Delane a lot.
It's just my bold take. I just have him so much higher than pretty much anyone else does. So.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I just don't like him at 3. You know what I mean? He's top 10, top 11, top 12. Yeah, I could squeak him in at 10. I could find someone on my list. I could pull Sadiq off and put Delane in there, no problem. And I'd be fine with that. That to me, after downs at like 7 or 8, the 9 and 10 to me are pretty much interchangeable. It should be more like a top 8, but we're doing top 10 for all intents and purposes. And the last 2, it's just a matter of preference. Like, I ain't mad at this at all, man. So Delane's a stud, bro. He's going to be a baller. I mean, there's some Marcus Peters to him. There's some Quinyon Mitchell to him. He's a bunch of this. There's some Trent McDuffie to him. He's just a playmaker. Like. There's a bunch of different guys that you take their skills and traits and you put them together, and then you have Delane. I'm not mad at it at all.
All right, let's go to number 2. I like I said, I'm not a big offensive lineman guy in this year's draft, but to me, this guy's a home run. He's the one guy that if you need an offensive line, now he plays right tackle. I could care less. If I'm drafting a guy who I know is going to be my right tackle for the next 10 years and be one of the, I believe, to be a top 10 right tackle in the NFL, like soon to be.
Go is a monster, bro.
I wouldn't even hesitate for 2 seconds to take this guy.
These Samoan players, man. These guys, dude.
He's 6'6".
Seriously. Like the Penei Sewells of the world. I mean, these guys, the Chiefs just got one of these guys, man. I mean, these guys are monsters. I mean, they literally
blocker, tons of experience. I mean, dude, he literally goes down the list.
And he's only 20 years old. He's going to be your right tackle for a decade, barring injury. He's going to be there for a long time. Wherever, who takes him though? This is the thing. Who takes him? Okay, so let's just go through it. Mendoza, number 1. Jets ain't taking him. Jets line is pretty good. Jets are taking him. Cardinals take Maui Go at 3. Who are they protecting? Jacoby Brissett? Really?
Yeah, but like this is a 10-year thing, you know?
Yeah,
like,
and I get it. Because they're waiting that next year they're going to get a quarterback next year. So they get their guy in here this year. It's just not the sexy pick. They're going to be bad for a long time. I feel like they got to bring somebody in that's going to help them. They probably would take Bailey over Maui Go. I would put my life on it. 4, Titans are taking Love. Giants are taking Styles at 6. You know what I mean?
Browns, easy, right?
Commanders, Browns.
Easy.
Browns are Commanders, but are they going to take that guy over a guy like Caleb Downs? over a guy like Cardinal Tate. The Browns are stupid. They're gonna have to get rid of they're gonna have to overhaul
Browns are
their
in
wide
desperate need
receivers.
of offensive line,
The-
man. It's kind of falling apart in
Jerry
recent
Judy's a
years.
bum, dude. I could see them taking Tate, pulling and
Yeah, but they
praying.
need everything. So I feel like if you're the Browns, you're just happy to get a starter on your
Now
team,
we go. It
honestly.
helps. I mean, who's their quarterback? They don't even know. See, the thing is, you're bringing in an offensive tackle who you don't even know who your quarterback is.
Yeah, but the moment you draft one, you're like, well, now we need an
And
offensive
now,
line.
yeah,
So I feel like you want it there in place.
6'5", 329. 330. These guys are absolute monsters. He had a great combine. Production score is high. Athleticism is high. Total score is high. I mean, he's a good player, man. You know who he reminds me of? Last year, the guy that I loved. Remember Fuaga? Talisi Fuaga, this guy reminds me of, bro. And he's going to be highly productive in this league. I tell you, man, these Samoans, they got this thing going on. They know from birth. They're just like, just keep eating it. Just keep eating and lifting weights, son. You're going to make us proud one day because the league will never not need guys like you. Beef is why Super Bowls are won. If you think you could build a Super Bowl winning team from the outside in, you're sadly mistaken. The game is won in the trenches. And so I got no problem with him either, man. I mean, I'm not offended by this either. I have him in my top 10. I just don't have him as high as you do. You know what I mean? Getting to the quarterback, to me, is just as important as protecting your quarterback. It's just a matter of which do you need more. The Chiefs need to protect Mahomes. That much is clear. But when they had to absolutely get Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson on the ground, they could not. They couldn't do it. Chris Jones is older. How am I going to take Francis Mauigoa over a guy like Ruben Bain? It's just need. And at this point, it's just a matter of preference. You're telling me that we both like ice cream, right? But you like chocolate chip and I like Rocky Road. Doesn't take away from the fact that ice cream's still awesome. You see what I mean? So I don't know if being offended is the right phrase. I like Mauigoa. I just don't think he's a top 10. He's going to go top 10. I just don't think he's going to go top 10.
I think he's guaranteed to go top 10.
I want him to go top 10. I have him as top 10, but you got to also remember some of these GMs are just morons. We see it every single year, Spencer, where we're like, that guy cracked the top 10. That guy went top 15. Are you out of – who was the guy last year like that? I'm trying to remember.
The Cowboys, I think, went pretty bananas with –
we're just like, who is this guy? What? This is a third round. This is a day 3 guy. You're picking him at pick 24. Like it happens every single year. And so I think you have to factor that in when we're looking at these prospects.
All right. Obviously. Number 1 is Fernando Mendoza. What's there not to like about this guy, man? He's got prototypical size. He's got great decision making. He's got great processing. He's a little prototype quarterback.
A couple things I don't like.
Yeah, he hasn't taken the ball under center, which kind of...
I don't like the fact that part, that's number 1. Number 2, I don't like the fact that Fernando Mendoza does not run. He doesn't run. And in this league, you're going to need to run. You're going to need to run. I'm not saying you have to be a running quarterback. I'm saying when it goes down in a big spot and you watch kind of Patrick Mahomes ascend into this during his first playoff run when no one ever thought he could run because he was too busy throwing 50 touchdowns. And then the next year, all of a sudden in the playoffs, he started taking off and no one really knew what to do. And he's slippery. I think if we can get Fernando Mendoza to a place where at 3rd and 9, if no one's open, he's willing to run that ball for that first down and put his body on the line, you're going to have yourself a generational quarterback. I love Mendoza, but you're playing for the Raiders. You're playing for the Raiders. The right side of your line is absolute hot dog water. Now, I like bringing in Kirk O'Chains. We called this a couple weeks ago. I told you Kirk Cousins was in Vegas and he was coming. Yeah. Shout out Rob the Raider. And so that's big. And to my dismay, they're going to now put Kirk O'Chains out there for at least 8 games. He's getting paid $20 million.
I think they're doing the right thing.
I think they're doing the right thing. I get it. You don't. I mean, you want to
especially because he
preserve.
doesn't have time under center. I think you
Well,
want
guys,
to.
it's the Mahomes effect, man. Everyone saw Alex Smith give the tutelage to Patrick Mahomes, and then Patrick Mahomes turned into Jesus Christ superstar. And so now other people are thinking, well, maybe we will try this and see what happens. And Raiders are actually following the game plan of how to get a franchise quarterback. You have a head coach. Tom Brady's hanging around. Kubiak is good. You have an owner that's willing to spend. Guys want to play where it's sunny. No state tax. They're built. You've killed free agency. You got an A+ of free agency, and now you bring in Fernando Mendoza. But he's still got a lot to learn at the pro level. I think he is ready. I think he is going to be solid. But like you're watching this picture here of him running to the end zone, he's going to have to do that in the NFL. Ashton Genty cannot save you. You're going to be down in so many games still. You're still better, but you're going to be down in a lot of games that you're going to have to throw your way back in to win. And I think that a lot of NFL quarterbacks are just scared to run, man. You watch literally Patrick Mahomes win 2 Super Bowls by running. By running. That one run he had versus the Titans at home in the AFC Championship game broke their spirit. That game was over after that touchdown run. You know which one I'm talking about? The one he hit the sideline, gave the guy a little shimmy. He's not athletic at all, dude. Patrick Mahomes looks like a father. But if you can add that to your game, I think it's going to really help Mendoza. I like everything else. The guy is very talented. Him and Tom Brady are in talks, which that just has to be able to help you. It's not going to hurt you. And they're going to draft some decent wide receivers. You got Bowers, you got AJ, and I like Kubiak a lot. I think the guys, laugh at me all you want, man. Okay? I think the Raiders make the playoffs in 2 years and win a game. I do. And I think this is the consensus number one. If I am a Vegas Raider fan and they take anybody but Mendoza here, burn your colors and walk away. Walk away and never return. Because it just makes no sense. This is the guy. They should have plays for him looking at right now. Right day one, he is as I have never seen a more slam dunk one overall number 1 draft pick that I can remember in 20 years. This is the guy. And I just love him.
So people say Jared Goff. I think that's the most offensive thing you can ever say.
Jared Goff throws
people
too many.
People say, this guy doesn't
picks.
run. This guy doesn't run. The biggest play of the season that won them the national championship, he looked like Superman.
Yeah.
Just because he didn't do it all the time in college doesn't mean that he is Jared. Dude, Jared Goff is
a statue.
He's
a statue.
Say Mendoza's the same thing is just like, you don't know ball, dude. Like, don't look at the stats. Like, this guy used his legs in some of the most important moments of the season. Does he need to do it more? Yes, he does.
Needs to do it more.
I just think it's silly to think that this guy is Jared Goff. I really think that is just I think it's just incorrect personally.
6'5", 236.
Now he's not Josh Allen, obviously.
You know who my NFL comp is for Fernando Mendoza?
I have one too. I'm curious.
You guys are gonna think that I'm crazy here by saying this, but I truly, in my heart, I really believe this. It's Joe Burrow, bro. It's Joe Burrow. If he is half of what Joe Burrow is, the Raiders will win the West in his career.
I have a funny one for you. I think he's Alex Smith.
Yeah.
Alex Smith wasn't a running quarterback, but he could use his legs.
But he could use his legs.
I don't think
Alex
Fernando
Smith
Mendoza is a superstar.
Alex Smith had runs of 60 and 70 yards in his career. Runs. As a quarterback, he had one run versus the Jets that went for like 75 yards. I like that.
I think he could win. I think he's I think he is a mobile quarterback who is not a mobile first thinker. And
he's going to win a lot of games with his mind. He's a very smart dude,
he's a game manager, dude. I don't think he's ever going to be at the talent. He's not at the talent level of the top quarterbacks in the league. He's a high-end game manager. You can win Super Bowls with high-end game managers. Alex Smith won playoff games.
Mm-hmm.
I think he can be just as good. I really do. I'm not putting. I don't think you want to have him lead your team to the Super Bowl, dude. I think that's what he did for Indiana, man. He did exactly what they asked him to do in every single game in the college.
Well, he was surrounded by ballers. It's not his fault. He was surrounded by ballers. You know what I mean? It's not his fault. He's playing with the guys that are on the team. I think he's going to be a little bit better than you're saying. I do. I see his NFL comp being Joe Burrow. Let's play this game. let's say all of a sudden the A.J. Brown talks heat up again and A.J. Brown goes to Vegas. I think he can go crazy. I think Fernando Mendoza could throw 38 touchdowns and run for another 6. I think he has it in him. I think he could do that this year. I know it sounds nuts, man, because the AFC West is a bloodbath. I get it. I understand all that. Guys, the Raiders are going to still be down in a ton of games.
Oh yeah,
They have
they're gonna be bad next year.
they're not gonna be as bad as they were this year. I
Oh,
think the
it's
Raiders can
impossible,
be.
yeah.
I
For
think the
them.
Raiders will win 7 games. I do, but because they're gonna be down in so many games, they're gonna be throwing the ball quite a bit. This is Brock Bowers to the moon this year. Dude, Brock Bowers is gonna be in. He's gonna be in heaven. He's gonna be
Dude,
in a
let
different.
Omar Cooper Jr. fall to the Raiders in the second round or
And
something
there's one I
stupid
like
like that,
too.
dude.
See what if I'm Vegas, I'm still pushing to get rid of Max. I'm trying to
I am too.
I'm on the phone with
Dude,
Jerry Jones
had
every
that second
day.
first round pick, man.
I am on the phone with Jerry Jones every day trying to get rid of Max Crosby, and I'm trying to get a 1 from them. You're not going to get 2 ones, but I will take 1 and a 3. I would do it right now. I would do it right now because that 1 that you're going to get from them, that's your wide receiver. That's your A1 from day 1 wide receiver. You cannot just do this with Brock Bowers and AJ. You need a wide receiver, and your wide receiver room is buns. Jack
Stinks,
Besh.
dude.
Jack Besh is just a bum. Who's that other tall, lengthy guy that you got? You guys have nobody, man. If Trent Tucker is your wide receiver 1, we have a real problem. And I think that you could fix this problem by getting rid of Max. I don't want to hear this, well, it was God's plan, and now I'm back, and I'm healing. And by the time the Raiders are any good, Max Crosby will be washed. So just get rid of him now. Take the pay, just take the cut. You're not getting 2 ones, but you can get a 1 and a 3. You can get a 1 and a 4, a compensatory pick. Maybe they eat some of the salary. Fernando Mendoza is going to be a monster in this league. I don't care what anyone says. I like this guy a lot, and he's a consensus overall number 1. Show the
All right,
people my list.
Yeah, let's go over your list now.
So Bain, I had at 10. I like Bain. I have Sadiq in there, man. I have Sadiq.
I like him too. He's floating right around.
Sadiq is going to go a lot further down the line because people don't need tight ends. There's a lot of tight ends, but I have Kenyon Sadiq going to the Carolina Panthers. So you're going to now have Sadiq with Bryce Young. I think that helps Ted a lot. You know what I mean? I think that helps Coker a lot. And you have decent running game. I think they're a playoff team, and Kenyon Sadiq makes them even better. His combine was fantastic. His speed. I'm an Oregon Duck fan. I watch this guy all year. He's a physical specimen. We've already talked about Maui Goa. It's just a matter of who takes him. I don't see him going top 5, top 6, but a good team will take him. It wouldn't surprise me, though, if the Arizona Cardinals took him. If the Arizona Cardinals are like, okay, we're on a 3-year plan, we're taking Maui Goa now. That way, when we get our quarterback next year, he's already, we're already working on protecting him. Carnell Tate, nothing else to say. He belongs there. I don't think as highly of him. You know what I mean? We need wide receivers in Kansas City. I probably would still take Sonny Styles over him. I'd probably still take Bain over him, but you can't go wrong there. We already talked about Styles. Styles is probably the biggest freak athlete in the top 10. That is, to me, I don't think it's questionable what this guy did at the combine. He literally looked like he was built like the Terminator. Caleb Downs, I'm in love with. I would take Caleb Downs on my team in a heartbeat. If the Giants pass on Downs, he could fall to Kansas City, and then you have a decision to make, him or Delane, which I'd take Downs, man. I would take Downs over Delane. I would. He's just a better athlete, man. You can the Kansas City Chiefs have had this knack of turning guys like Avion Terrell into cornerback 1s. But you don't just find Caleb Downs. You just don't find him. He's Eric Berry. And you saw what Eric Berry did. You have a chance to recreate that in 2026 and you pass on him, Brett Veach, you'd be out of your mind. I'm sorry. We already know about Jermiyah Love. This is where me and Spencer differ. I just think Reese and Bailey are the cream of the crop for the edges. There's just too many teams that are recognizing what I recognize in the NFL that you cannot get to the other team's quarterback. You cannot win. If that guy's back there and his jersey is not dusty and he's not taking licks or he's not hearing footsteps or, he's not worrying about who's coming from the left or who's coming from the right or who's coming from wherever. I mean, safety blitzes, corner blitzes, they're not getting the job done in crunch time. You have to have pigs. You have to have horses. And Reese is a horse, and Bailey is an absolute pig, man. That pig in the middle. Rob the Raider shout out. He said it to me a couple months back when we were watching him play Oregon. He was like, they're getting beat up and shut out, but he's out there balling. He was moving. He was tossing fools. I don't know, man. I'll take Bailey on my team in a heartbeat, and if Reach ever fell, I'd take him too, man. Gotta have it. I'm sorry. Everyone thinks differently about the NFL draft and how the top 10 guys go, especially defensively. Me, I want to see your quarterback on the ground. You know what I want to see? I want to see what the Houston Texans did to Josh Allen. I want Josh Allen's will snapped on the field. I want 6 sacks. I want 7 sacks. I want the entire offensive game plan disrupted. That's what I want. And those guys help you do that. Day one. And then Fernando Mendoza is the cream of the crop. World of matchups has spoken.
Yeah, just really quickly on Arvell Reese and Bailey. I like Bailey. He's got good speed. He's obviously a sack specialist. He's got a spin move, which is pretty rare in college. He has shown Ben, but to be honest, he's not strong enough for my liking to be taken at like number 2 or anything extreme. And he's not good in the run from what I've seen. And I'm sorry. I know the value of edge rushers, but if I'm taking an edge in the top 3 and he's not going to help me out in the run game year 1, I'm not interested. I need an edge to also set the edge, and I don't think he can do that. Arvell Reese to me I'm not saying any of these guys are bad. I'm just saying they're so inflated. I'm not taking him in top 5 personally.
He's going to the Jets.
He's got good bursts, power, speed, Arvell Reese. He carries his momentum well. To me, he's undersized, but he's very good laterally. He doesn't have tools for pass rush. I'm sorry. If I'm taking a pass rusher and I don't have a deep tool bag, I think those things aren't developed very well in the NFL personally. I need to see some sort of tools that can get refined. But if I don't see the tools and I'm betting everything on you and taking you, I'm not interested. I'm just not the biggest fan of guys like Arvell Reese, who were like had mega burst and speed or power in college. Yeah, so does everyone else. Everyone has power in the NFL. And so you had an edge in college competition. Well, you're facing the best guy you've ever faced in college every single down in the NFL. Like the worst offensive lineman is better than in the NFL is better than like 99% of college football players. So guys who are explosive like that in college, it just doesn't always translate to me. Maybe I'm wrong about both of these guys and maybe they'll both be superstars, but when I think of top 10 prospects, I think of 10 starters for me. Like here are 10 starters that guys have my seal of approval who I'm comfortable taking. I'm not banking anything in the top 10 personally, unless it's a quarterback. I'm always banking. Every single year, if I need a quarterback, I'm banking anything. I'm reaching for
banking
quarterback
on Love. I bank on Love.
That's what I'm saying. Like when I'm comparing guys like Caleb Downs and Jermiyah Love, and I'm looking at Arvell Reese and David Bailey, to me, it's not a competition. I'm so much more confident about those two guys in particular. Right. I'm willing to what many people would consider reach overtaking
a matter
these guys.
Of need.
If they don't pan out and David Bailey's good against the run, but he becomes a slouch. I'm sorry, if he's really good in the pass rushing game, but he's a slouch when it comes to edge rushing, I'm going to feel stupid in 3 years when this guy is just getting gashed all the time.
You get the right defensive coordinator to light a fire under his ass, though, man. It's a matter of where they land. I cannot see the Jets taking a guy like Jermiyah Love when
I would say I like David Bailey a lot more than I like Arvell Reese.
I like Bailey too, and I'm here to tell you that my top 5 that you're looking at right here, I'd be willing to put money that this is how the first top 5 goes in the NFL draft. I would put my own money down. This is the top 5. What you are looking at on the screen right now will be what is called the end of April. I promise you. Maybe flip-flop Reese and Bailey because I'm hearing through the grapevine that the Jets like Reese, but Love to the Titans, Downs to the Giants.
I think it's easy, man.
Down.
I would take Ruben Bain over both of them so easily. If I'm taking an edge rusher, I'm banking on Bain over those.
Well, Bain has the bag. Bain has the bag,
he has
dude.
Literally everything.
He has
but
the bag
frame that you want.
That's it.
Everything else, he checks off. Plus, Ruben Bain is good against the run already,
Mm-hmm.
dude. I'm telling you, I think people are stupid for putting Bailey and Reese over Bain.
I'll take Bane.
I know, I like low key kind of poo pooed on Bain when I started the show,
I'll
but
take
like
Bane in a
if
heartbeat.
we're comparing against these two, and I'm banking everything on an edge rusher in the top 10, I'm taking it over both of them, and I wouldn't even think twice about it.
There's
If you're
two
taking
guys
an
that
edge
I
in the
want.
second,
It's gonna be if at 9, if I get either of these guys, I'll be perfectly happy. It's gonna be Bane and Downs. You could find a cornerback at pick number 29. But Downs is gonna I'm telling guys, I'm telling you. I just get feeling in my bones about players, man. And when I see them play and then they're comparable to other superstars, other great players, great franchise players in college and the NFL, guys like Eric Berry, Eric Berry was Mr. Tennessee and Mr. Kansas City. It doesn't happen very often when you get that guys that are just productive in two different cities. I mean, he had the great story. I just telling you, I love Caleb Downs. I would take Caleb Downs in Kansas City right now, and I would take Ruben Bain Jr. If they pick any of those guys, I'd be perfectly happy. I would take Bailey too. You know what I mean? I would take Bailey too. Bailey's a pig, man. He's a pig, and I think Spagnuolo. When you have to also look at your DC. Can your DC motivate guys and get the most out of them? And Spags is a real one. Spags is a G. Spags turns mid players into very good players. I mean, look at Brian Cook. Look at the money Brian Cook just got from Cincinnati. You know what I mean? That's all you need to know. And to me, Brian Cook is very average. But the Kansas City Chiefs somehow won 2 Super Bowls with this guy. Why? I think because Steve Spagnuolo has the system that these guys buy into, man. And so if you can get the guy who is missing some things here, but can be coachable, I would take Bailey in Kansas City. But he wouldn't be my first pick because Ruben Bain has the bag. I ain't worrying about short arms. Can you get to the quarterback? That's all I care about. And if you have that burst and that first step, let's go. And he's got a bag of tricks, man. You've seen it. And you said it. He stops the run. Can you stop the run? Teams are running to win, man. You watch the Super Bowl, guys. KW3 ran all
the
over
run
the
game
Patriots.
has had a resurgence in the
It's
last
had a
couple years.
resurgence, man. The run game is back. Guys are now throwing for show and running for dough. I will never back off it. If you want to win a Super Bowl, you have to be able to run the football or stop the run. And that's exactly what the Seattle Seahawks have done. And look at the teams that have won the last 5 Super Bowls, man. That's what the Chiefs were able to do. Look at a guy like Isaiah Pacheco, who to me is an absolute bum now. Bum. But one of the greatest playoff runs in the history of the sport happened with him being running back 1. Guys, it's just a matter of putting the team together and having it work. They don't always have to be the best players. That's why I kind of understand what you're saying about guys like Concepcion. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. But it has to be where they land. Where you land is everything. You think Patrick Mahomes would still be Patrick Mahomes if he landed in Carolina?
Or the Bears.
Seriously. I'm not one of these Patrick Mahomes stans. I mean, I love the guy. Don't get me wrong. But, where you land matters. With who you're playing with matters. You had Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins. Are you kidding me? Those are major weapons. Prime Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy. Come on. Alex Smith. At this guy's Hall of Fame induction speech, he better be listing these guys off ad nauseum. Because as good as you are, you need help to win a Super Bowl. And I think that some of these picks need to be made with that in mind. The Jets got to be careful here, man. I mean, I like Reese, I like Bailey, but same thing with Arizona. I'm taking Jermiyah Love if I'm Arizona, but I don't think they will. I don't think they will. That's where Maui Goa could go. That's where
That's
they're
where I
going to
have
be.
them going.
They're like, well, we're going to rebuild this team from the ground up. We're going to lose as many games as we can this year with Brissett and the mustache, and then we're going to draft our franchise quarterback. We're going to try to get the number 1 pick. These are what they're internally quietly saying. These are the conversations they're saying. We are building for 2029 in Arizona.
Yeah,
and Maui Goa could probably go there. And if he doesn't go there, he's falling out of the top 10, Spencer. because those guys don't need him. The Chiefs cannot draft Maui Goa. Not with the holes on that defense. Would it be nice to have him there? Absolutely, but you cannot do it. It's all about team need. World of Match is bringing the heat. Spencer, let's do this. 2 weeks? In 2 weeks, we're going to do 1 through 32.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm
right.
Yeah, I'm just about there. Just right there. I think I'm just about ready.
We'll bring 1 through 32 to you guys in 2 weeks, and then after that, we have that live NFL draft show. And then before you know it, guys, it's training camp, and the season will be here before you know it. Guys, time is flying by. It's April. The NFL will be here. I know hockey and the USA Classic baseball and baseball is here and all that basketball, well, blah blah blah. Guys, that stuff is just keeping the NFL warm. Let's keep it a buck. This is the real man sport, and this is the sport that everyone wants to see, and no more amount of money is gambled on the NFL than any other sport. So let's do what we need to do, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. On behalf of World of Matchups, I'm Dexter Reed. That is Spencer the Wiz, and guys, we're out. Hope you enjoyed the show. Peace.